Are you terrorized in your own home? In this video, I would like to discuss the issue of abuse in the home environment. Typically, living in a house or home, we should feel safe, protected, nurtured, and be able to be ourselves, where we can grow and experience a sense of warmth and care, somewhere to relax from the world outside. However, targets of abuse who may be living with a narcissist abuser will not have such a living environment. The targets of abuse will experience some of the following from the abuser they live with. This abuser could be their partner, one or both of their parents, or their children or friend residing in the home. Whatever the dynamic relationship link, the abuser will display some or all of the following behaviours towards the target of abuse. And some of the behaviours could border on mental health issues, as they sometimes are so extreme and harmful. Normal, healthy people experience a lot of distress and pain having these types of behaviours projected towards them on a daily or weekly basis. What exactly constitutes abuse? Abuse constitutes any mistreatment, harm, or violence of any adult person, child, or animal. It is most often a repeated pattern of behaviour utilised by a perpetrator, master manipulator, or narcissist against the target of abuse they're trying to control. They do this to control and demean the person, whether through overt or covert behaviours. The end result of this type of abuse is just as harmful, if not more so, than physical violence, because over an extended period of time, anyone who is exposed to this form of abuse becomes worn down and deeply affected. We are not taught as a society exactly how serious and debilitating being emotionally abused literally is. It can literally kill. It's a slow and painful death if you stick around long enough around the abuse. It literally breaks down your mind, your body, and your soul. The abusive tactics implemented through covert or overt means often take many forms, such as ignoring you on purpose for hours or days on end, put-downs, verbalized, yelling at you at any opportunity you speak or do something, ordering you around to do what they want you to do when they want you to do, contradict and counter you at every question or statement you make, and argues against your thinking until you are left so confused you feel like you are losing your mind. Lies to you frequently about anything real or made up, confuses you on purpose about anything, also called gaslighting, blames you for anything that goes wrong, even if they are the ones that created the negative situation in the first place. Intimidate you through various means, either with their body language, verbally threatening you to do something, or menacing looks directed towards you, or sounds threatening you that if you don't do what they tell you to do, you will come out of it worse for wear, whether that is psychologically, physically, or any other way they can think of. Swearing at you to demean you and devalue you, making you feel cheap and worthless, labeling you something you are not, such as stupid, bad housekeeper, can't keep a job, can't keep finances, bad parenting, even though there is no evidence to back this up. Questions everything you do or say with no logical reasoning behind it until you end up doubting yourself, and even questions your own reality, pretends to not understand anything you say or want on purpose, so that you end up feeling stupid or a bad communicator, no matter how many different ways you've worked out to try and explain the message you're trying to get across. Hurtful remarks or comments like, "Oh, maybe next time you'll be able to cook a better meal. Nice try though." Even though you had studied to be a chef, as an example. General lack of respect towards you, telling jokes but remarks are really abusive, and put downs like, "Oh, nice hairstyle, it's interesting. I wonder, maybe if you go to a real hairdresser you might look good next time. Good try though." Physically hitting you just because they can, just because it helps them release steam, just because they aren't thinking about how abusive an act that is in itself. Most people normally associate abuse with physical violence, but from what I've just discussed, you can see that although in some cases there is no physical violence, the list of manipulating dynamics discussed are very harmful. And anyone who has lived in these dynamics is testimony to the immense pain and discomfort experienced in living in this manner. How does abuse affect you? Do you often feel confused, hurt, and unable to concentrate? Do you find that you can never please your partner? Is your partner upset with you often? Does your partner blame you often for things that go wrong? Are you in denial or consciously unaware that these abuse dynamics and make excuses for your partner? Are you finding it hard to make decisions for yourself? Are you struggling with your eating and sleeping patterns? Do you find that you have less and less energy to get the most simplest of tasks accomplished? Do you feel anxious, fatigued, and depressed? Do you feel cut off from your family and friends? Is your self-confidence low? Do you feel fear about the future and whether you could make it alone? What can you do about the situation? Realize that emotional abuse is serious, but to realize this, you may need support in understanding how you got into the abusive situation, how to deal with the abusive situation, how to get out of the abusive situation, how to heal from the abuse, and how to get your sanity and your life back, building your strength and courage back. This is where coaching and neuro-linguistic programming can be of great help, support and healing to you. Also, having someone supportive to work with and who understands the dynamics of the abuse tactics used against you. As you may have realized after perhaps searching for the right relationship counselor, therapist, or psychologist, not many may have picked up on the severity and abuse dynamics of your situation. Sometimes unknowingly further victimizing you and perhaps inadvertently blaming you for the abuse you were experiencing. This happens sometimes because some therapists are not trained in the area of abuse dynamics. That's the feedback I've had from many of my clients. Understand and realize that emotional abuse is as detrimental and as bad, if not worse, than physical abuse. Realize the harm it is causing you and your children. Sometimes emotional abuse can lead to physical violence or death. Find supportive people to talk and confide in. Know and understand that you are not to blame for your partner's abusive behavior towards you, and that you have not done anything to justify being treated in this manner. Understand that you have the right to make your own decisions in your time frames, and that dealing and preparing to remove yourself from the abusive situation may and will take time. Trust in your experience of the abuse. Realize your strengths. Know that you are your own best witness of your experience, and that you have the power and the tools you need inside of you to survive and thrive. Where else can you turn to for support and advice? Women's or men's helplines. You can find the number in the front of your phone book. Some shelters do accept women or men who are abused. If you have been threatened or harmed, please call your local emergency number. If you are considering leaving, see a family law lawyer. Note that abused women are at the greatest risk of being harmed or killed when leaving the abuser. Ensure that you have a plan in place for your own safety and that of your children and pets. I hope that you have found this information useful. Please feel free to share this information and video with anyone you think it might help. See you in the next video. Until then, stay safe and sane. I wish you many blessings.